Hey guys, welcome to my video. It has been quite a while, yeah, due to being a new mom and all of that, but let's keep it going. So in today's video I'll be talking about basically the process of having a baby at UHWI. I know when I was pregnant I didn't see a lot of videos on this, so I decided to share my experience with you guys. All right, so if you're interested, stay tuned. All right, okay. So to have a baby at UWI, and I'm talking about the public option that they have, because they do have a private option. So I'm only, for the purpose of this video, I'm only speaking of the public offering that they have, right? All right, so after you have missed 2 consecutive periods, you need to contact them to register for their clinic, and that's usually like 2 months, when you're about 2 months thereabout. So right, they'll give you a booking date. So on that date you will go there and you'll be required to take, I think it's 27,000. Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, you'll be required to take $27,000 with you, and that is to cover the clinic. So bear in mind though that this cost isn't inclusive of ultrasound, blood test, and anything like that. This is just to see the doctor and the nurses when you attend the clinic, right? And separate and apart from that, we'll also need to take 7,500, and that would be for blood test. So when you do go, booking days are normally on a Friday from about 8:30, one of those times. So when you go there, you'll be required to pay that, or may I add, you don't have to pay the full 27,000 for the clinic. You could opt to pay 15, but by the time you would have had your first doctor's visit, you would have needed to pay the remaining balance of 12,000, right? So back on track. So when you go there on the Friday, it's normally a Friday, you'll be required to pay the clinic fee and the blood test fee. So you'll be doing a blood test that day, and the blood test you're gonna do, one is for HIV and the other is VDRL, and the other blood test is to check like your blood group, blood count, and things of that nature, right? On that day, they are also gonna ask you some screening questions, some personal things, and that is questions you can expect is like if you take drugs, if you did in the past, if you had a miscarriage before, stillbirth, if you have any illness, any family history, things of that nature. They're gonna ask you any abortion, they're gonna ask you just about everything, even your household arrangement, like do you have somewhere with running water, a lot of questions. So basically they're doing this just to get an overall idea of your situation, to give you the best treatment going forward. And they'll also use this information to assign you to a specific clinic day. So if it is that you're high risk, then okay, you're gonna be expected to come on a different day from those that so far seems like they'll have a normal pregnancy. On that day as well, they'll brief you with in terms of the financial information. They'll go over that, and they'll also go over just the general stuff to expect, right? I believe this is the day you will get your maternal book, and it just has your records. So for example, well, you can't see it, but right, so date of visit, gestation age, everything like that will be in this book. So another thing you'll be receiving is your appointment card. This is a card should be taken with you upon every visit, inclusive of the maternal record book, right? At the back it tells you to take a half slip, a large towel, and a container for your urine when you arrive on your clinic days. What else? All right, so in terms of the cost to have a baby, there, if you have a normal delivery vaginally, that will be between 60 and 80,000. If it's by C-section, it's gonna be run anywhere between 180,000 to 200,000. And of course, I mean, if things are very complicated, you have to stay for a prolonged period, you know, additional costs will go to those amounts. What else? For some persons, they may not know that a C-section will be required until last minute, so maybe an emergency C-section. So in that case, you will have to pay the difference. So if you paid your 60,000 or 80,000, whatever the case is, and you end up having a C-section in the end, you'll have to pay the difference. They also allow you to have a payment plan, and let's see. So on every visit, if you're having a normal delivery, you will pay about $5,000 every visit. So by the time you should give birth, you would have paid a good portion of it. And if you're doing a C-section, if you know, because some persons have a history where they know that C-section is what's the method they're gonna give birth by, they'll be required to pay about 15,000 to 20,000 on every visit, right? So, you know, in the end, you don't have to find that lump sum of money. And I believe, right, so 30 to 50,000 is to be paid before the 28th week of pregnancy if you're having a normal delivery, and 120,000 to 150,000 should be paid before the 28th week if you're having a C-section. For me personally, I didn't know I was gonna have a C-section. That's what I had, so I paid the 60,000, and the difference was paid you know, obviously after I had given birth. So I believe that kind of sums it up for the financial aspects of it. Just double checking here. Another thing, they don't take health card up front, so you'll have to pay these fees out of pocket, and after birth, that's when you claim back from your insurance company. So I believe that covers most of the financial aspect. Now, in terms of the actual clinic days, let me give you a rundown of what normally takes place. So you arrive between 8 and 8:30, I really don't remember which, and for about half an hour you'll have like a session with the nurses, and that's in terms of all mothers that attended. You have like a general area where everyone is seated, and they'll just run over some important information, and you can ask any questions, concerns that you may have in that group setting, right? After that, you will be required to pass your urine, and you will see a nurse. The nurse will, you know, ask you if you're okay. They'll check your blood pressure. You'll be led to another room where you will be weighed, and they will test your urine to see if everything is, you know, okay. After which, you will then wait to see the doctor. So you may be wondering, like, what's the wait time like? To be honest with you, for me, I'm not sure if it was just that period, but the wait time wasn't too bad. and the clinic wasn't packed. So each time I went, it was about 15 of us, and they have quite a number of doctors, so maybe 10, 9 on that day, so you'll get through pretty well, pretty soon, I should say. The other thing is the hospital is a learning hospital, meaning they have a lot of student doctors and student nurses. So if you're uncomfortable with that, maybe there wouldn't be the the best option for you, because you do have times where you will run into student doctors that will examine you, and also student nurses, so you can just watch out for that. I'm trying to think what else is there to mention. In terms of visits, I had, let me tell you, I had 9 visits before I gave birth, right? So in the first trimester, I had like a visit once a month. Similar for the second trimester, and then when it came down to the last, I had one like at 32 weeks, 35 weeks, 37 weeks, and 38 weeks and a few days. So my last visit was on a Wednesday, and I gave birth on a Monday. So that sums it up for the process. The blood test though would have to be repeated twice. The second one you'll have to pay for it, and the third one will be free. So just bear that in mind. And you'll also be required to do a COVID test at 30, I think it's 37 weeks, but they'll guide you. You'll be required to do that, because they can give birth anytime, and they want to know that everything is good. I think that sums it up. My overall experience of the nurses, they were very nice. From my personal experience, they were nice, they were pleasant, helpful, graceful. Even more so the nurses on the recovery ward. Right, so but that would have to be in another video in terms of like my birth experience, my labor and delivery story, which wasn't a bad one, kind of straight to the point. It was a really good process for me, and seeing that I had a C-section, it wasn't bad. So the overall rating, I'll give them like a 8.5 out of 10. That's my personal experience. Like I said, it wasn't bad at all. It was a very great experience, especially for a first-time mom. So I hope I covered any questions you may have had. If I didn't, you could comment it and I could answer. So with that being said, thanks for watching my video, and stay tuned for another one. Bye.